Now we're on question 5b, and instead of asking for the volume, they're asking for the surface area of what looks like to be a Lego block. So this one's a little bit more difficult, but it's not too hard. If we again calculate the surface area of that rectangular prism, let's start with side by side. So let's work here with this side and then the opposite side. So that's going to be 8 by 16, and again we're going to have two of those here and then the other side. Let's start with this side here. That's going to be 32 times 8, and once again we have two of those in the front here and in the back. And now let's look at the top and the bottom. The top and the bottom, we have 32 times 16, and again there's a top and a bottom. Bottom there, top there. So we can solve for these here. So this is going to be 256. This here is going to be 512. And this here is going to be 1024. So now let's talk about these little cylinders at the top. If you think about it, the top circle at the very top of the cylinder is really just going to be a replacement for kind of the cutout here down below. So the only additional surface area we need to calculate is going to be this kind of side panel of a can. And if you think about a can, imagine unwrapping the sides of a can, where you start with a situation like that and you begin to unwrap it. You're going to eventually end up with just a flat rectangle. And remember, we have the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So this is 2 pi r. This here is still 2 pi r. And when you get down into this, what you're left with is 2 pi r, if you can kind of visualize that. And then of course you have your height. And so here the surface area is going to be 2 pi r h. And so using the numbers that we have, here's 2 times pi times radius times the height. That right there is going to solve out to 37.68. And so again, if we go to look at our picture, we have 8 of those little cylinders. So now I have 8 times 37.68. That's going to work out to be 301.44. And if I add all of those up, I get 2093.44, and we're working in millimeters, and this is surface area, so I have millimeters squared. So the surface area of that Lego block is 2093.44. Again, we calculated the rectangular prism, and we have all these 8 cylinders. The top was already included in the calculation of the rectangular prism, so we only needed kind of the outside, wrapping of the cylinder, which again we calculated 2 times pi times r times the h, height, to get 37.68, and we had 8 of those. Here's your answer.